watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Laec.
And together we are Raw Break. How's every single one of you, family? Happy Friday. It's time to talk about Smackdown. We actually were looking forward for this because there was a lot of elements. There was a lot of things that they could have been potentially good, right? We could have seen, the beginning of the King of the Ring, the beginning of the crown of the new women's like King of the Ring, or women or like Queen of the Ring. More like crown jewel, like hype and everything with Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. But in the end, the show is very disappointing. So you know what? One more time, thank you WWE for breaking every single one of our hopes.
Yeah, I mean, really, the one thing we say each and every week still holds true, and we can add Becky Lynch's name to this list and most of the stuff she's involved with. But besides the main event, Roman Reigns and Becky Lynch, besides those two, there's really not anything on this show worthwhile. Like you had mentioned, the two King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, whatever they're calling it, tournaments, were both pretty much awful. I mean, yeah, we saw some good matches on the men's side. The women's side was complete abysmal, not because of the participants, just because of the way they booked it. So overall, just, again, not a very awful show, SmackDown Live. And, they're really just pretty much wiping their hands clean and handing it over to AEW. They're
exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. Like they're giving so much reasons for AEW to just take over, to be the new guys, to like actually be the number one company in wrestling. Daniel Bryan said it, and I'm gonna reply, and I'm gonna actually re-say it because he said WWE is not meant for professional wrestling fans. You know what? Absolutely true. So hi Pato, Pato, ¿cómo estás? Thank you. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Gracias por el apoyo. To every single one of you, the same thing, family. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and give the video a like so more people are exposed to us. And don't forget also to check out the rest of the content that we have. And this week we did, of course, like NXT UK. Probably out of like all the bad stuff that like WWE has, the one that is savable. And Paul Noam Dar becomes the number one contender for the Heritage Cup. And you see the picture against Tyler Bate. This is going to be a good feud and hopefully a brand new champion.
Oh, yeah, Noam Dar, he was the guy we've been saying needs gold for the longest time. We said how legit he is. I think he'll beat Tyler Bate. He'll be the new Heritage Cup champion. And I'm really looking forward to that match. And, we said a really good show top to bottom on NXT UK. But go check out the review and, then hear our full thoughts in depth.
No, you're absolutely right. So, like, SmackDown, Paul, open up. Like, I don't know if you like the opening of the show, but, like, for me, why you have the girls already out and then just play a little bit of the song? I don't know why. Like, I think they do that because AEW is trying to do that also. I think that's why they did it.
To me, they put too much emphasis on entrance. Roman's is cool because he's your champion, but you don't need Bianca Belair coming out and doing her dance and the Ada and the hair swing and Sasha Banks doing her dance. And you're not a champion. You know what I mean? Like, to me, only the champion should get the really big entrance. You can have music, but walk to the ring, with a purpose. Get there, So I don't like entrances, like you said. So sometimes they do them, sometimes they don't. But I actually like this, sit-down segment that they had here. And this was one of the segments I thought was actually, watchable here.
It was pretty serious, and the one thing that it was important also, like Bianca Belair looks like a 10 million bucks. Like Becky was talking all this stuff, and Sasha finally like spoke a little bit. Also, she didn't say why she came back or why was she absent of SummerSlam, but Bianca Belair also said, like, you know what, like the main point of this is just like sign the damn contract. Let's get it over with. Come on, girls. That was good. I like that. And, like they start, of course, fighting against each other. Triple threat match of Crown Jewel for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And, this was good. What did you think about the power of Bianca Belair?
Yeah.
That was a great sequence out of right there.
Yeah, this was great. Both women, arguing Becky Lynch, saying, why should I have to fight you two? What have you two dopes done? Blah, blah, blah. Sasha Banks, was stating her case, going after Becky. But Bianca pretty much said that the only two, and they were pretty much telling Bianca, hey, get out of here. You're just a little child. What are you doing here? And she's like, what am I doing here? It was you two who had to, challenge me to be relevant. Pretty much saying that, Bianca is stating her case, why she's still, should be in this match and everything. And I liked it. I liked the double KOD through the table, really showing off her strength. But then again, twirling her hair and jumping up and down and dancing like she's like a 4-year-old girl. That's
like there was a moment that it was cool that like when like she was just like there and like I guess absorbing them like what she just did. she was looking like really like, like pissed or like, pumped. Then it's like all of a sudden click, and then go back to like being like,
exactly. I mean, and I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I almost feel like she has an intensity, and then she remembers, oh, WWE wants me to do the hair thing, and oh, okay, so then she like does it. But no, I mean, that's what kills it for me. That's what kills all the, just the legitimacy for Bianca Belair for me. But no, I did like this. I like Becky. I like Sasha. I like Bianca. And I mean, the only thing again that kills all killing legitimacy for any of these matches is the fact that this is Crown Jewel.
Yeah, exactly. We have more people in the house, so thank you to every single one of you. We have Doug Masters.
Yep, Doug
there you
Masters.
go, Pretty Boy. K-Fake Corners, like he's going to be switching to another channel. Stay tuned for that. And our boy Steven Butler is here. Hey, guys, he says, how you been, Steven? It's been a while, but thank you for being with us one more time.
Steven.
What do you think about this SmackDown? What do you think about your Crown Jewel? What do you think about WWE damaging, something that they bring back? Do you know any other companies that they bring something back and then they destroy the very first second that they release something? So, let's keep going, Paul. Like you said, Sasha Banks, Bianca, Becky. It's going to be good, I feel. The title's not going to switch hands, or maybe. We don't know. Because, they have to still do this. Remember, everybody, the draft was already made. It happened, but it's going to take place after Crown Jewel. So that is something to keep in mind. A terrible decision. I gotta agree with you, Paul. So, tell me a little about Rey Mysterio, because he was gonna open the King of the Ring tournament, a tournament that, like everything in the WWE, has lost its spotlight, lost its value, lost the aura. But he's saying that Sammy's saying there's no way that he's gonna win, and you still see the tension with Dominic. So, what do you think so far? I mean, like you said, good match, and still Rey really good, in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, this match with Rey and Sami Zayn was great. I mean, Rey is, he was really putting over this tournament. And at this point, I still thought, okay, I still had faith in all this. He's like, hey, the second best thing to being Universal Champ is being King of the Ring. It's such an honor. If I can add that to my career, that would be fantastic. And, he looked great in this. And, I thought Sami Zayn, they have some chemistry. Especially, Rey Mysterio hitting a big dive into a Hurricane Rana on the outside, was really good. And even just another Hurricane Rana, like a Super Hurricane Rana. I mean, Rey still, even McAfee made the joke, oh, Rey Mysterio's been here for 75 years. And, he might be 75 years old and he might be wrestling just as good.
And then, Paul, let me stop you for just a second. Look at the comment right there. ¿Qué pasó, Twisted T and the great Juancito? What's up, live? What's up, buddy? How's it going? Hey,
I think Tom's drinking some Twisted Tea over there.
That's awesome. I hope you enjoy also Dynamite. It was from Philly one more time. But going back to I'm sorry that I called you a Paul.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Going back to the match, like you said, Rey is great. And he was injured. He was just injured not too long ago. They had to in the house shows that they do, they have to keep Rey when they went to Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico, Hispanic mom, that was actually a big name that they wanted to show. Had to stop it because he was injured. He's back for this. Sami Zayn, Dominic was also towards the end of the match. He ends up with a roll up.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really don't like is just this whole Dominic storyline, and you had him come down and just roll up right away. If anything, just have it be the haluva kick, or I don't know. I mean, Rey should have won this. I don't know. This was just bad booking, and again, a great match, bad ending, and that pretty much just set the tone for the rest of the show.
It sets the tone, yes. In the end, Sami Zayn, and don't you think? Am I speculating here too much? Am I being too overcritical? But isn't that a little bit offensive? How he has the crown and the and the blanket whatever over the head. Am I going too far here?
I mean, the way that people are nowadays, I could easily see some people getting upset. But he looked like Sabu.
He looked like Sabu or Melcher from from the three kings or everything from Jesus and everything. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm again speculating one more time. Let's check out the bracket poll. Just like the Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Finn Balor. We saw these matches today. Also, Kofi Kingston, Jinder Mahal, Xavier Woods against Ricochet. I don't know. A pretty lackluster also. I don't know why. Why would you have such a lackluster crowd bracket for these guys? They could have been so many other names, and especially King of the Ring. You're trying to build a new guy, somebody that will be like a future superstar.
I mean, I would love to see the King of the Ring finals be Finn Balor versus Ricochet, and that's still a possibility at this point, especially even with, the second match we saw later on tonight. But yeah, not very good. And that's, because WWE, all the really good guys that we liked, they either let go or they don't feature them or, whatever. So again, like we said, WWE, they're really struggling right now, and AEW is just firing on all cylinders.
Yes. You're right, and Doug Master says WWC in Puerto Rico. I enjoyed it there. Doug was actually one of the great interviews that we did here so far. So soon, we were always looking for more, talking to you, learn more from all their experiences, and also you get to see Tom Leibel says Xavier versus Kofi in round 2, breaking out the New Day. Thank you. That will be something that will get me excited about the tournament. Do things that are going to be meaningful.
Yeah, but then Ricochet's just jobbed out again to the New Day. So no, I don't know.
Would it surprise you though? Will it surprise you that they will do that? But there you go. Sami Zayn advances. Hit row. You can see this guy's promo by Isaiah Scott. Hopefully on Tuesday, right, Paul? He's going to drop the North American Championship to Santos Escobar. Then Legado del Fantasma will be legit one more time. So I'm excited about that. Let's see what happens with good promo by them. They're they're really putting a lot of stocks on these guys. Like you said, they got a good fandom. They can actually relate to the younger audiences. So I think that they're going to be okay in the main roster.
Oh I think they like their gimmick. All these guys can talk. They can wrestle. Well, at least Swerve Scott can wrestle. Ashanti's good. And, I'm looking for these guys on the main roster. I'm glad that, that they're getting the push, because we even said, Swerve Scott's good. Now that he has a character, he's good. And hopefully he's treated, relatively as good as Damian Priest. And I think they'll be doing all right. Yes,
you're right. And, Tom Leibel, Tommy wants Finn Balor to win it all. And, Doug, thank you for saying great show. Thank you, Doug. We appreciate you. Hey, keep supporting. Keep sharing the link. Hey, keep sharing everywhere you go. Just carry that original rope break banner or flag, and we love you and appreciate you also. So this is how the roster is gonna look so far. I mean, in paper, a lot of promising guys. Isaiah Scott also could be a maybe United States Championship or Intercontinental Championship at this point. Drew McIntyre is there, also Rich Holland, the Garza, Humberto. There's a Isaiah Lee, a lot of good names. But I mean, also Eric and Ivar, or when it comes to the War Raiders, or or the Viking Raiders. But aside of that, I think that 50-50 for this draft. Don't you think, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, the draft is, like we said, at this point, it's foolish to get excited over it. And even though they switch the matchups, nothing's really exciting. The only thing I'm really looking forward to see is if Jeff Hardy actually goes into Willow, or if that they just tease that and he just stays Jeff Hardy and just jobs.
Yes, Jeff Hardy mentioned also that he just talking to the guy that created the mask, so there might be a new mask coming up. So Willow could be going back there, so that will be exciting. So now let's go to Seth Rollins. He has a lot of talking to do, around the reasons that why he invaded Edge's house. So he's excited, he's excited to talk about this. He wants that match. He wants Edge to finally agree to settle this feud one more time. So we're gonna hear that in a little bit. Tony Storm, Paul, this girl has gone really low. She's getting rock bottom because she's actually saying that she's gonna win. She's categorized as the princess of the 80s now, 80s rock. And let's see the bracket for the girls. Selena Vega, really, the same awful matchups that we've seen throughout the weeks. Liv Morgan, Carmella, same thing, and also Doudrop against Natalia and Dana Brooke against Shayna Baszler. So you're telling me you don't have anybody else for this, first initial, women's, Queen of the Ring or something? I don't know. Terrible.
I mean,
terrible.
at this point, with the two winners we saw tonight on the SmackDown side, unless you're really gonna push Shayna Baszler, legit push her in the singles division, and she's gonna be a champion, I pretty much just give this to Piper Niven, because Tony Storm, she is gonna be one that's gonna be AEW bound. I can already tell you this is so done. NXT and NXT UK, she was herself. Here, she's an 80s punk star. She loves everything 80s. 80s this, 80s that. Bruce Springsteen, Madonna. It's oh my, they took Vince probably said to her, what's the one thing that you like, Tony? Like, tell me something you're into. Oh, I like 80s music. Oh, you like 80s music? Oh, okay. And he made her, that's like her entire personality is 80s music.
Exactly.
So done. Her main roster career done. This match with Zelina Vega was, I think, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It was complete shit. Zelina won. And I mean, these two shouldn't have been in this match because they both needed to win because they were both new or relatively new here on SmackDown, and these are the women you need to further. So this should have been like, Zelina Vega beating Carmella and Toni Storm beating a Dana Brooke or a Jobber or somebody like that, or maybe
they needed
a
different type of opponents. They needed other people because then this is not. It's bearing Toni Storm now. Toni Storm 2 matches. She won one. That tag match that doesn't even count, and this buried.
And to me, she's so dumb because of her gimmick. Instead of coming out there like, oh, I want to win King of the Ring, like, what? Who in their right mind, like, you like things when you like soccer, when you talk to people about, just regular everyday conversation, you don't go, oh, I'm gonna kick this like kick a soccer ball in soccer because I like soccer. It's like, what?
You use a different type of language, because you want to get people to relate rather than to step away and be like, hey, whatever, dude. Yeah, you like whatever you like. Yeah, like on a side note, exactly. Yeah. I don't like that. So, moving on, Paul Heyman. Here we get to see this. Probably the worst of Roman Reigns that I've seen, in probably a year. I don't know. This is not just looking too good. Why? Because Brock Lesnar is not there all the time, or because we've seen this way too many times. The one thing that they've done this really good is like every month, 2 months, there's somebody new. Cesaro, Kevin Owens, John Cena, all of them, like Jimmy Uso at the time also, all of them, or Jay Uso at the time rather, all of those guys, Daniel Bryan. So here, it's just taking way too long, and Paul Heyman, you see, I don't know how you liked it, but I mean, for me, it's not doing anything anymore.
I liked some parts of it, when he pretty much, Paul Heyman was kind of groveling again. It was the same old thing. And he's just, oh, Roman Reigns, oh, my tribal chief, all this and that. And he's like, no, he's like, don't tell me, tell the crowd. Yeah. Tell the crowd, tell Brock Lesnar. And, eventually Paul Heyman got into it. But like you said, I was almost waiting for Lesnar to come out. And then when he didn't, you're like, oh, okay, they just held up the title. And it's like, I mean, this still is the best stuff on the show because everybody's legit. Everybody takes their role serious. Nobody's out here being tongue-in-cheek and being goofy and comedy. It's all great. But this is the worst of it that we've seen in a long time. And like you said, maybe it's because Brock Lesnar, they don't have him on every show. Maybe it's because, we've seen Lesnar and all this so many times. But the one thing intriguing to me is just Paul Heyman. Is he going to turn? Is he not? Because I think if he does, maybe him, maybe they go to Raw. Maybe they go after Big E and we see, Lesnar and Heyman again or something. I don't know. But Roman can stay on his own, I think. But, I mean, to me, I'm looking forward to the match. But again, a crown jewel.
Pato is enjoying it. He's like, yee. Sí, Pato is loving it. Pato, ¿te gusta Roman Reigns con Brock Lesnar? Vamos a ver qué pasa en Crown Jewel. Eso pasa en 2 semanas. Va a ser bueno. Veremos. Only time will tell, Paul. So we'll see what happens on that. So let's move on to like the next segment, and that was, like you said, Seth Rollins is still like going back and forth about this. Hey, I want to talk to Edge. We'll see what happens. I mean, Rollins playing his gear, kind of like. Really heel, but at the same time very composed. He doesn't lose it, he just knows that he has like the handle on this. He's in control. So I mean, whatever, it's fine. And then like you said, this was also like 3 minutes. Liv Morgan also with Carmella. This is still terrible. Why would she win in the pre-show and lose it here? Why would she lose it here when she's supposed to win here and she wins at the pre-show? This is just terrible.
This is even worse. And they're like, oh, yeah, this women's, Queen of the Ring tournament. Oh, man, this is so great. And the minute. I mean, that's all it was. The match was only like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Carmella wins. The woman that they booed out of the fucking building when she was going to get the match at SummerSlam. So nobody wants to see her win. People want to see Liv Morgan win. And, I mean, this was a pointless tournament, even if Liv Morgan would have won the whole thing anyway. But the fact that you have her lose in the first round, I mean, again, you know, WWE, we always say any way that they can find to make us disinterested in something, they'll do it. And they did it here with this, you know, Women's King of the Ring.
They always do. I'm so unfortunate as WWE for, you know, the bracket is right there. We're going to see this. We're going to see this also like next week. So, I mean,
so it'll be Natalia. It'll be Natalia and Dana Brooke on the Raw side.
Yeah. You know, like, for example, like the Queen's Crown tournament. Will you give any of these women like the first one of this tournament? No. You know, neither one of these, maybe Natalia, but like Natalia, you're never gonna give him anything of that.
I would have did Zelina. I would have did Zelina like cheating, you know, to beat Toni Storm.
But and
then Liv Morgan would have beat Carmella clean. Liv Morgan would have beat Zelina in the second round, and then, you know, when Zelina cheated to beat Toni in the first round, after, you know, she loses, then her and Toni can have a feud, you know, because it's like, oh, you beat, you know, you cheated to win, that's bullshit, and then they have a feud.
And that's what I mean, you know, it's just terrible, it's not interesting, and you know, they just destroyed this situation. Like, you know, Liv Morgan easily should have been the winner, not because she's hot. Maybe she's an average wrestler. She's getting there. But it's the opportunity to build somebody with that. Grab that title. Grab this new thing. And then, hey, I'm going to be the new SmackDown champion. You know, that will be the stepping stone. No. You know, complete Carmella and Zelina Vega. That's a semifinal. You know, that says it all, I think. And, you know, we go from that to let's go to something even terrible. You know, Mazes, so why am I here? I don't know. You know, he looks like, I don't know what's going on there. Like, he doesn't even look at the camera. You know,
Fear and Shanky done.
Shanky, you know, this guy done. He should have stayed in commentary. You know, he should have stayed in commentary. Yeah, he should have stayed in commentary. Just he would have been much better doing that. You know, commentary for him. You know, whatever. Like, and this is even worse. You know, that's how we should be seeing this show. But that's how, like, people that say we love professional wrestling, that's how they look at us. Right there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, what is the point of splitting all these tag teams up? That is bad. Then we go to this. And this, I mean, you can tell me what Corbin said, but when this came on, I completely zoned out. I can't get into it. This is awful. You know, if it wasn't for this right here, this is probably when I would have completely just turned off SmackDown and done something else.
If it's not for every single one of you that watches, it's not for you guys. We will not be doing this, because how terrible it is that you're jobbing out Kevin Owens every single week. You know, we can go back to us. Every single week, you're giving reasons to Kevin Owens to say, you know what, AEW bound. You know, I want the Young Bucks to give me a kiss in the cheek.
I think they already said to him, hey, you know, Kevin, your contract's up, you know, renegotiate this and that. No, I'm good. I'm going to go to AEW.
Yeah. And then it's like, that's why they treat me. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Kevin. So we're going to treat you like shit till it's expired. I mean, because really, you know, like Kevin Owens, he could be in the tournament. Wouldn't you think that like a King of the Ring for Kevin Owens could be like a Stone Cold Steve Austin? He does the stunner, right?
Yeah, but instead we had to take 2 tag team guys, the New Day, and put them in there.
Yeah, and why is the New Day? Oh, because you want Xavier Woods to win the whole thing. Why? You know, doesn't he coming up with that Boom Bob, whatever gaming show that he has? You know, they don't even know what they have, and then they complain when they go to AEW, when they go to other companies. You know, and then, why are they leaving? Take all the merchandise. No, no, they don't know what they're doing. Here, at least, we know the return of Sonya Deville. She's going to go back in the ring. She's going to face finally Naomi next week. So we'll see what Sonya can do. I mean, I like her role. She was able to reinvent herself. Remember, like, at least Mandy and Sonya have been doing really good. You know, Sonya is being an authority figure with Adam Pearce, and now Mandy just doing, like, the attraction, you know, like all of that on NXT. Really good. So, like, we'll see of course she's going to win. I don't think Naomi will go over, but, you know, something different for Sonya to do. I think that, like, hey, okay, dude, you gotta wrestle. You know, you want to stay with us, you gotta wrestle. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. I kind of wish the roles were reversed, where Naomi was kind of like a heel, maybe causing shit, and then, you know, Sonya had to step in as an authority figure, and then had to get physical, and then was like, oh, I guess I gotta wrestle again. And then maybe after that, Naomi could have joined with, you know, the Roman Reigns group, you know, with the Bloodline. But
yeah,
I mean, just because Sonya in other segments seems babyface, and then here with Naomi, she seems a heel, and I'm like, why is she angry against, the only like black woman? I was like, oh,
I'm all speculates right there. So
I'm like, this is because it just seems weird. She's like, oh, legit. And then Naomi just
exactly.
But
before we move on, don't forget, subscribe to the original Raw Break. We're here putting content every single week, guys. Every single pay-per-view shows, WWE, AEW, Impact, NWA. We do it all. Don't forget to just be with us one more time. And let's go to probably like. Is it worth it to say what's the best match of this show? I don't know. Cesaro looked like shit, so I don't want to say that. Like Finn Balor against him. Why would you put these two guys, two baby faces, to first round of a King of the Ring?
Again, this is another matchup that could have been the finals of this. That's what I was thinking when I watched this. I'm like, why isn't this the finals? Like, yes, Cesaro looked good, but I knew Balor was ultimately going to win this because what do we say after? That was Daniel Bryan's last little thing he did. He's like, oh, push Cesaro against Roman Reigns, and they did it. And then Daniel Bryan left. He became Bryan Danielson, and then after that, they're like, hey, guess what, Cesaro? You have nobody in your corner anymore. You have nobody that has any, say around here backing you. Now you're just going to be a mid-card jobber again. Don't worry. Go back where you were. You're like, don't worry. Sheamus is coming over to SmackDown. We're going to get the bar back together again. Don't worry. It'll be legit. It'll be fine.
Tag champions right away. Yeah.
But I'm glad Balor won because, again, as much as I love Cesaro, if you said, okay, who are you going to push? Because who's more main event? It's Finn Balor. To me, especially after that bullshit match against Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules, Balor needed to look strong. He needed to win. I think he should win King of the Ring because he is the prince. You know what I mean? It's like King, the prince. It
makes sense.
It all kind of makes sense. So, he should win. So, Tom Leibel and I are on the same page. Tom, fan of the Twisted Tea, so of course he knows what's up. But this was good, but again, on a show that was just surrounded by such awful segments, how can you really enjoy this?
Yeah, and and you said it the best. It's like they need to give him this to Finn Balor. Why? Because he needs something after that. Like you can't just go after NXT and just feel like shit one more time. Like, and you destroy the only thing that was capable of saving Finn Balor. That was the demon. And you do it for the sake of Rome. That says it all right there for me. But anyway, like hopefully he gets the win. Hopefully he does something. And again, the King of the Ring poll needs to give something also. Heritage Cup, at least you get something. Any tournament needs to give something more than just the name. Or like the crown and that's it. It should be a championship match. It should be like a Money in the Bank. He got that's what SmackDown is doing to us every single week for the past month.
Hitting us right in the balls.
Kicking the balls, right there. Like, and then we're about to we're gonna go out with a chick. No, boom.
And that was Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is like, why should I wrestle these two assholes? What have they done? Blah blah blah. And they pretty much trick her into it. They're like, oh, you are Becky Lynch. You are the best. You should be able to go into Crown Jewel and beat them and this and that. Just sign the contract. She's like, you know what? Yeah, and it's like it's like duck season, rabbit season, duck season. Oh, okay. And then she signs it and pretty much whacks him in the balls with the contract. And I don't know.
It wasn't terrible. It's just,
and then just really we're gonna get into here the main event, the last segment of the show. Man, you can't even close it. To me, you can't even close it with Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns or something. Just I don't know.
Yeah, well, before we do that, like you said, the semifinals, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, like you said, and we already mentioned, there's going to be also, there's going to be a supersized SmackDown for the ones that don't know. FS1 is going to be holding SmackDown, next Friday. Why? I think it's the World Series. I think that's what it is. Every year the World Series around this time. That's why they're going to have it on another. So the ratings are going to go even lower. And then they wonder. So Brock Lesnar is going to make a return, at least, to prep the match before Crown Jewel. And like you said, Seth Rollins pretty much just talking about all of the stuff that he wants Edge to come out. He is still taunting Edge. Are you going to do it? Are you come out? Are you going to be legit? Are you going to be the guy? And all of that. Edge doesn't respond. No answer. He keeps going about the family, the kids, all of that. And then we have to see this. He finally arrives and Seth Rollins at least sells the thing. Oh my God, he's right there. Oh, and then he gets a spear or a hug. You know when I say that, Paul. You love that. So then, and then, but like the one thing that was funny though is like how Pat McAfee, like with the headset, like they lost it because like they were fighting also like in the commentators like table and all of that, and Pat McAfee lost the thing, and he's like, kind of came over. I need to get my headset back. He couldn't recover it, but like in the end, we get to see this Edge is like beating him up. He tried to take that metal piece from the chair, and he tried to do the same thing. I would like him for him to do concerto. He doesn't do that anymore. Well, maybe it's too, I guess, rated R, but I would like that. But in the L poll, he says, you know what? Because Seth had mentioned, hey, choose the stipulation of the match. He goes, well, Hell in a Cell. So we're gonna see a Hell in a Cell in Crown Jewel. I don't know. I mean,
they're really.
I want your thoughts. Tell me.
Maybe I just need to suck it up because Crown Jewel on paper is looking to be a really good pay-per-view. And I just hate that it's in Saudi Arabia, that it's, it's a pay-per-view that's done purely just for WWE to make money, which I guess they all are. But when when you look into the backstage stuff of the deal, it kind of kills it. And I mean, I think maybe Edge doesn't do the concertos because, pretty much the most popular guy in wrestling, who's not even in wrestling, Jim Cornette. He was bearing the concerto a while ago when they were doing it. So, maybe he listened to him because he's, when he says you hit someone with a concerto, shouldn't that pretty much splatter their brains? How are they going to get up and be wrestling a week later? So how does that make any sense? So maybe that's why we don't see them do it. Maybe it's a violence thing. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, Hell in a Cell is good. But again, it's just randomly going to be on this pay-per-view. And what's the fallout from this? Does Edge beat Seth Rollins and get another match? Does Rollins beat, Edge and finally get his match with Roman Reigns? What is the whole purpose of this? Or is it just going to be a feud and then afterwards neither guy does anything?
And remember that both guys are going to be on Raw. So
there you go. Yeah, exactly. So what, are they going after Big E?
Yeah. Edge against Big E, for WrestleMania. That should be a feud. That should be a great feud. Edge against Roman, against Big E at WrestleMania. So at least this is the intensity was okay. Like you said, I mean, the closing segment should be always the main event, the title. I mean, it's fun that they do this. I mean, Hell in a Cell is a big announcement. The first time, probably the king of Saudi Arabia, he requested this, so that's why they did it. It makes sense. It gets me excited. Of course, it's gonna be a PG version because of Edge. You're not gonna get the Edge that did the 2008 Undertaker. You're not gonna get the same Hell in a Cell. You're not gonna get all the Hell in a Cell matches that Edge did in the past. But at least they're probably gonna handle it like they do Hell in a Cell nowadays.
Yeah.
A very PG just structure. They never use it. It's just right there for everybody to see. There's the crowd in Saudi Arabia just want to see the big thing coming down, the structure coming down, all of that. But nothing else is gonna happen. There's gonna be no blood. There's gonna be no usage of anything. But despite of that, we get to see the rated R superstar happy because he's gonna end this feud with Seth Rollins, and therefore we're gonna end this review. Saying thank you so very much, family. We hope you enjoyed what we did. Don't forget one more time, subscribe to the original rubric on YouTube. Give the the bell for notifications. Also, give the video a like and share it. When you guys see us live, share it so more people can be exposed to us. And aside of YouTube, where else can they follow us for?
And make sure you follow us Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And family, have a great weekend. Enjoy. We'll come back with more content next week also. And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...